7 games into Luka Doncic's new chapter with the Los Angeles Lakers, and already alarm bells are ringing. What was supposed to be a historic pairing between two generational talents, Luka and LeBron, has begun with hesitation. And some of the worst basketball we've ever seen from Luka, in fact. His first 3 games with the team were statistically the worst 3-game stretch of his entire NBA career. Yes, even worse than when he was a teenager in his rookie season. Some point to valid explanations: injury recovery, conditioning issues, adjusting to a new system, and learning to play with new teammates. But there's a growing number of voices saying something different. They're pointing the finger at LeBron James. And they're not just asking if he's failing to help Luka, ... They're wondering if he's actually making him worse. Luka Doncic has never looked this ordinary. In Dallas, he was untouchable, dropping 40-point triple-doubles with ease, hitting step-back threes in defenders' faces, orchestrating every possession like a maestro. But in LA, that same Luka looks out of sync. His decision-making is slower. His movement looks heavier. His turnovers are up. His shot volume is down. And worst of all, his body language tells the story of a star who's searching for a role he's never had to play before. In Dallas, Luka was the offense. Every play ran through him. Now he's sharing the court with a basketball god, one who has never truly played off the ball, one who has been the system everywhere he's gone. And whether Luka's decline is temporary or a sign of something deeper, it's become clear that the adjustment is harder than anyone expected. This isn't a new discussion. In fact, it's a debate that's followed LeBron for years. Does he make his teammates better, or does he make them smaller? LeBron has been the centerpiece of every roster he's ever been on. His style is heliocentric, everything orbits around him. And when other stars arrive, they're expected to adapt. Dwyane Wade had to adjust. So did Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis. The list goes on. Some adapted successfully, sacrificing stats and control for the greater good. Others struggled, and now with Luka joining that list, the question is more relevant than ever. Is Luka's current slump just growing pains, or is history repeating itself? LeBron has played alongside 240 teammates over his career. Narrow that down to the 110 who spent at least one full season with him, and here's what we find. Only 27 of them had their best career seasons while playing next to LeBron. That's just 25%. And many of the others? They peaked before, or after their time with him. That alone isn't definitive. Many of those players joined LeBron late in their careers. Some were already on the decline. But when you analyze what happens after they leave LeBron, the pattern becomes clearer. Of the 45 players who continued their careers after parting ways with him, 34 of them got worse. That's 75%. Whether it's aging, loss of team structure, or simply no longer being shielded by LeBron's gravity, most players regress when they stop playing with him. This paints a picture of LeBron as the ultimate floor raiser. He can take a team of role players and elevate them to playoff contention. He boosts team success, there's no denying that. But individually, he doesn't always raise players to new personal heights. Instead, he makes everything around him functional, effective, and LeBron. This is especially true for a specific type of player. Spot-up shooters, rebounders, rim protectors, guys who don't need touches to be effective. Think J.R. Smith, Shane Baudier, Tristan Thompson, Channing Frye, Kyle Korver. These are the players who flourish next to LeBron because they don't compete with him for the ball. They support the system. They exist within it. For them, LeBron is a gift. But what about the stars? The ones who need the ball to create, to dominate, to lead? That's where things get complicated. Chris Bosh went from a 24-point-per-game franchise cornerstone in Toronto to a third option in Miami. Kevin Love averaged 26 and 13 in Minnesota and became a floor-spacing decoy in Cleveland. Even Anthony Davis, one of the most gifted big men in the world, has at times felt like an accessory to LeBron's engine. These players didn't fail, they won championships. But they sacrificed their individual power to do it. Luka Doncic, for the first time in his career, is being asked to do the same. So far, it's not going smoothly. In 2018, ESPN's Kevin Pelton used the Shaney projection system to analyze 25 of LeBron's teammates. Only 9 of them met or exceeded expectations. The rest underperformed. That's data, not opinion. The conclusion was clear. If you're building around LeBron, don't stack the roster with high-usage stars. Stack it with glue guys, shooters, defenders, off-ball threats. And that's the real issue with Luka. He's not an off-ball threat. He is the system, just like LeBron. And when two systems share one court, one of them has to change. The question is, which one? Luka has spent his entire career and even his teenage years in Europe as the primary creator. The ball is an extension of his mind. He controls the game at his own pace, sets traps, reads defenses, manipulates rotations. He's not a catch-and-shoot player. He's not a cutter. Not someone who waits for opportunities. He creates them. Now imagine asking that kind of player to defer, to stand in the corner, to run second-side actions instead of orchestrating the whole offense. It's not just a strategic shift, it's an identity crisis. Luka is being told to play a role he's never played before, and it's showing. The alternative is for LeBron to adjust. But can he? He's 40 years old. He's played a certain way his entire career, and it's worked. He's a 4-time champion, 4-time MVP. He's led the league in assists, scoring, and playoff wins. It's asking him to change isn't easy. But if there were ever a moment for LeBron to evolve, this might be it. Luka is the future, is the vision, the scoring, the leadership. And LeBron, with his IQ and passing ability, could become the greatest off-ball facilitator we've ever seen. If he chooses to do it, here's what makes this all the more complicated. Nearly every former teammate of LeBron praises him. Wade says he's the best teammate he's ever had. Kevin Love says LeBron made everything easier. Anthony Davis has called him the best leader in the NBA, and they're not lying. Because for players willing to sacrifice, the reward is real. Championships, success, legacy. But sacrifice always comes at a cost. Fewer touches, fewer points, less spotlight. And for someone like Luka just entering his prime, the decision is more difficult. Does he give up part of who he is to win now? Or does LeBron recognize it's time to empower the next generation? This is the crossroads. The Lakers have a narrow window. LeBron can still dominate, but time is ticking. Luka is the future, but right now he looks out of place. They can either figure out how to complement each other, or they'll crash under the weight of their own potential. Because greatness isn't just about stats. It's about adaptation, trust, sacrifice. And if this duo wants to work, if they want to contend, someone has to let go of control. For years, that sacrifice came from LeBron's teammates. But this time, maybe it needs to come from the king himself. So what do you think? Is LeBron James making Luka Doncic worse? Or is Luka just facing the harsh learning curve of playing next to greatness? Let us know in the comments. If you think Luka needs to take over, hit that like button. If you think LeBron should step back and mentor, make sure to subscribe. This story is only just beginning, and we'll be here to cover every step of the way.